Today's topic is how to have a successful school year at home. And we'll be talking about things like discipline and chores and how to stay organized for the school year. I've read several parenting books, as I'm sure many of you have. Love and Logic is one of my favorites. However, when I had my second child, I realized that even Love and Logic can fail with certain personality types. My favorite books that I've read are written by Thomas Felon, PhD. I may be saying his name wrong. 1, 2, 3 Magic is my favorite book for children ages 2 to 13. He's got really clear, concrete ways for how to stop annoying behaviors and how to start the behaviors you want. Things like staying on task, cleaning your room, getting your chores done on time, and getting your homework finished. As Dr. Felon says, we have 2 primary responsibilities as parents. The first is to make sure that our children know that they are loved and safe. And the second is to basically be a disciplinarian to teach our children how to be respectful, responsible adults someday. And some of the most important advice that he gives is not over talking and keeping the emotion out of things, which can be a really difficult thing to do, but I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions that have helped in our family. If you know me well, you know that things aren't perfect in my house either, however. I just want to disclose that. The other book he wrote that I really like is called Surviving Your Adolescence, and this is for children ages 13 to 18. In here he discusses how to manage and also how to let go. A couple of things that we've done around our house that have made life a lot easier are coming up with a spreadsheet for things like expectations, privileges, and consequences. So in my family, I tried several years to do a job chart. I never stuck with it. I was never consistent. I never remembered to mark the dang thing off. And so every year I tried and every year I failed until I came up with this strategy. What I do is I have certain expectations for each of my children that never change. So my 13-year-old's responsibilities are to dust the house, to pick up the shoes, to clean off the front and side porches, and take out the trash every week, along with cleaning his bedroom, making his bed, making sure his drawers and closets are clean, and he stays on top of his homework. That way, if the trash is to be taken out, I don't need to go look at a list. I just know that that's Tanner's job and that's what he needs to do. My oldest child works and is a senior in high school, and so he has fewer responsibilities at home because he's so busy outside of the home. His jobs are to vacuum the entire house, to keep his car clean inside and out, to pick up trash in the yard, and to make sure his room is also clean. So what I've done here is I've compiled a list of expectations. So this one's for my 13-year-old. Homework and reading done before and turned in on time before friend and TV time. Privileges are technology for 2 hours a day, and then consequences of not meeting expectations: no TV, no hanging out with friends during the week for 1 week. I have given my children the opportunity to earn back half of that time if they comply for the next half of a week. I've got things on here like curfew, no technology in bedrooms, respecting family members, turning in technology every night at 7:30, as well as their responsibilities, privileges, and consequences. For our children, we give them allowance every week. They get $1 per year of age. So my 18-year-old gets $18, my 13-year-old gets $13, and so on. What I do, instead of arguing with my kids to keep the emotion out of it, is if they don't do their jobs, I do them for them and I charge them. So I actually get paid 1/7 of their allowance for each day that I do their chores. Another thing you can do is if you ask your child, Joe, I need you to take out the trash, and he doesn't do it, you go ahead and do it for him. Take away whatever is important to Joe. So you want to have a map of pleasure that you've watched your kids for 24 hours, you know exactly what they engage in, and that gives you clues for what they like. My oldest child couldn't have cared less about anything until he got a car. So for him, it's his car and his cell phone. For my 13-year-old, it's friends and it's technology. My 4-year-old has a favorite snuggly that he uses, and that's his. My 2-year-old has a binky, and that's hers. So you've got to figure out what their love language is. What their most important thing is. At the point where they won't comply with you, you don't get into an argument, you don't use any emotion, don't start throwing out punishments. That's why I like this expectation chart, because I can just go back to it without emotion, say, oh, you just need to look at the spreadsheet, it's all written there really clearly. Turn around and walk away. Believe me, I've gotten into it before with my 18-year-old about his grades. If his grades start to slip, he loses his car for the week. Having the spreadsheet has really helped me avoid having arguments with him, because I'll just refer back to it, turn around, walk away. So what you do when Joe fails to take out the trash is you take away his favorite thing, put it on the counter where he can see it, and say, Joe, I've done the job for you, but now you owe me another job plus interest. So you're going to owe me 2 jobs. As soon as you do those 2 jobs, you can have your whatever it is back. And we don't want to put a time limit on that. It might be an hour, it might be a week. It depends on the child and how long it takes them to do the chore. This gives you all the power. Now, if your child starts making threats about running away or committing suicide or hurting someone, we don't want to get into that game either. We want to just say, if you're going to run away, I'm going to call the police. If you say you're going to hurt yourself, I'm going to put you in the car and take you to the hospital. So we really want to keep the emotions out and stick with logic and reason. Another thing I wanted to mention is it's important to overpraise your child until you're blue in the face. You want to look for small things. In fact, it helps, again, to have a list of values that you want to instill in your children. Things like respect, courtesy, compassion, responsibility. And when you see your child doing those things, you want to point out those character traits. So thank you, Lucy, for putting your books away. That's so helpful. That's so responsible. You're so reliable. Point those things out. Overpraise your children and ignore the irritating behaviors. Things like tisking, dirty looks, eye rolling. You want to ignore those as much as you can. And then most importantly, make sure you're having fun with your kids. Good luck.